Something big just happened behind closed doors. And if what's being reported is true, Keir Starmer may have just crossed a line that no Prime Minister should ever cross. It's a move that strikes at the heart of British sovereignty, one that could unravel a key promise made to the nation after Brexit. The betrayal, it's bigger than you think, and it's targeting an industry that's already been pushed to the edge. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just be Keir Starmer's biggest betrayal yet. Let's break it down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Keir Starmer is facing fresh accusations of betrayal, this time against one of Britain's most historic and hard-hit industries, our fishermen. And if the latest reports are true, then this betrayal could go even deeper than anyone expected. According to revelations published by The Sun, the Prime Minister is poised to sign away British fishing waters to the European Union, not as part of a trade deal, but in exchange for something completely unrelated: access to the EU's new €150 billion defence fund. That's right, the Labour government is reportedly prepared to trade away control of our own coastal waters for a seat at Brussels' defence table. Now let's be clear, this is not just some minor policy shift or bureaucratic reshuffle. This is a direct slap in the face to the communities that were promised sovereignty, security, and opportunity after Brexit. It's a decision that risks turning one of the few hard-won victories of Brexit, regaining control of our waters, into just another bargaining chip on the negotiating table. One insider laid it bare. They said, if the choice fell between a small industry like fishing and a big industry like defense, the government should pick the big industry. Just like that, our fishermen, hard-working, proud and vital to our coastal economies, dismissed as small and expendable. It's not only insulting, it's disgraceful. Top Conservatives are already speaking out. Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg didn't mince words. He said, the EU ought to stop carping and pay us for defence, while the government must not flounder by betraying our fishermen again. And Steve Baker called it what it is: a lose-lose situation where Britain gives up fishing rights and Europe walks away with the prize. British defence cooperation. This is not just about fishing, this is about principle. Brexit was supposed to restore our sovereignty. It was supposed to give us back control over our borders, our laws, and yes, our waters. The UK fishing industry may not be as large as others, but it is symbolic. It represents the core of what the Brexit vote was about: regaining control over our own resources. And let's not forget that EU is reportedly playing hardball. Reports from Brussels confirm that France, backed by Denmark and others, are pushing a fish for defence ultimatum. In other words, Britain can only gain access to the EU's defence initiative if we hand back fishing rights. Even EU insiders acknowledge it. Emmanuel Macron's allies have gone as far as to say the UK must resolve the fishing issue to build trust with Brussels. But let's call this what it really is: blackmail, pure and simple. The current UK-EU fishing deal, under the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, expires next year. That deal already allows EU vessels to fish in our waters under a quota system, one that Britain has constantly been criticised for accepting. Just this past December, the UK agreed to a £310 million quota to allow the EU and Norway to fish for haddock, cod and herring in the North Sea. And now, it seems Starmer is ready to go even further. The same Labour Party that once hinted at compromises on fishing is now preparing to trade it all away for defence deals they've been quietly working on behind the scenes, without proper parliamentary scrutiny or political sign-off. This is what makes the situation even more disturbing. According to the newspaper, Labour MPs are growing in confidence that a deal has already been made. One MP even claimed a security pact is done. In other words, technical level deals may already be in place, with the political cover-up now underway. What happened to transparency? What happened to consultation? What happened to putting Britain first? Let's also not forget the human cost. Fishing communities in Scotland, Cornwall, Northern Ireland, they've suffered for decades under the Common Fisheries Policy. They were promised something better post-Brexit. And now, they're being told once again that they don't matter. They're being sacrificed at the altar of globalist politics by a government more interested in appeasing Brussels than standing up for British livelihoods. This is not just political strategy, it's a betrayal of promises, a betrayal of Brexit, and a betrayal of the British people. Keir Starmer must answer for this. He must be held accountable, not just by opposition parties or angry backbenchers, but by every voter who was promised that Britain would finally put its people, its industries, and its sovereignty first. Because if we can't even protect our own waters, then what exactly did we take back control for? In other news, Reform UK has been holding crunch talks with Liz Truss about how Nigel Farage can take on the establishment blob. The former Prime Minister, who lost her South West Norfolk seat in the 2024 general election, was ousted from number 10 following her disastrous mini-budget. Truss was giving Reform advice on how to engineer a major overhaul of the state, a discussion Farage also had with ex-Vote Leave mastermind Dominic Cummings. It's not just a case of thinking about policy, it's about working through delivery in the face of institutional resistance, a source told The Times. Despite Reform and the Tories ruling out any electoral alliance, Truss recently urged the best of the Conservatives and the best of Reform to work together. However, discussions between senior Reform figures and the ex-Prime Minister come amid Farage's push for power. The Clacton MP is looking to make significant inroads in the upcoming local elections on May 1st. Research conducted by Electoral Calculus suggests Reform UK could snatch as many as 474 councillors, with the Tories' rump being slashed to just 548. Reform UK's key targets include Derbyshire, Doncaster, Durham, Kent, Lancashire, Northumberland, Nottinghamshire and Staffordshire. However, devolved elections in Wales and Scotland could prove even more fruitful for the Populist Party. Labour's century-long grip on power in Wales is loosening amid concerns about policies enacted in Cardiff Bay. Reform UK could make significant inroads across the Principality following the expansion of the Senedd and introduction of proportional representation. A recent Survation poll in Wales puts Reform UK neck and neck with Plaid Cymru on 24%, just 3 points behind Labour. Meanwhile, Survation also handed Reform UK third place in Scotland, with 17% far exceeding UKIP's performances north of the border, despite Reform figures meeting with Truss. Farage last week compared the market chaos following Donald Trump's trade war to the former Prime Minister's mini-budget. He said that the 47th president did too much too soon, adding his friend's approach was rather like Liz Truss a couple of years ago. Farage concluded, "I've never in my life before seen stock markets fall quickly and bond markets fall at the same time." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.